Hi, I'm glad to be here with David Reiter, President of the Haymarket Group. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Gabriele.
What can you tell us about your background?
Well, I'm a career oil executive. I've spent about 25 years of my career working for Mobil, ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell. And I retired from Shell in September of last year, where I was the Chief Intelligence Officer and a Group Vice President.
What can you tell us about the current challenges that the oil and gas industry is facing, and especially those related to supply chain?
Well, the oil and gas industry is extremely important to the global economy, and it's going to require a massive amount of investment over the next 20 years to be able to reach the growing energy demand for the world. The biggest challenge that the oil and gas industry faces today is being able to find enough resources around the world to meet that growing energy demand. More specifically, in the downstream, which was the topic of my talk yesterday, the downstream organization, which is everything from refining to the marketplace to the consumer, is extremely inefficient today. And the profitability and return on investment in the downstream just isn't acceptable to support continued investment. So one of the big challenges in the downstream is improving efficiency and improving supply chain integration so that profitability can be increased and return on investment increased so that further investment can be supported.
Okay, and what about Mexico? What about this specific situation? What's your point of view in what Pemex is doing at this time?
Certainly. Well, Mexico is a unique market in the world in that Mexico is the only market in the world that does not allow private investment. Now, this has been a historical fact, and the rest of the world oil and gas community would very much like to help Mexico. Mexico, unfortunately, the production of crude oil is declining over time, and the efficiency of their downstream organization is quite low. So there's an opportunity to not only increase production over time, but also to increase the efficiency of the downstream. So there's tremendous opportunity there to leverage the learnings outside of Mexico, the technology to increase upstream production, and the technology to increase downstream efficiency. So we would certainly like to see at some point the opportunity for outside interests to be brought in, if not in an ownership position in Mexico, certainly an opportunity to help Mexico increase efficiency and production.
And how do you see the role that SAP is playing in all this environment?
Well, the role that SAP plays is very critical because both in the upstream and the downstream, one of the most important things in the oil industry is data. We're a very, very data-intensive industry, and the quality and consistency of that data is essential. And the industry has grown to be so large that there's no way companies individually can manage those. So massive infrastructure, ERP backbones are essential for both upstream and downstream. And I talked earlier about the downstream integration process and the need for further integration to increase efficiency. In order to do that, you must have a very solid ERP backbone to provide that integration across the functions. So in that case, ERP and SAP specifically is essential.
Okay. During your stay here at the SAP Forum, have you find any concern, probably after your presentation, from the people in the forum?
Well, my only concern is that Pemex moves more quickly to address some of the issues that are facing it, not only in the upstream sector, because production is declining, and additional production on the upstream would certainly provide an increased source of revenue for the Mexican government, and on the downstream. The continued inefficiency of the downstream sector makes it very difficult for the Mexican people. There's less product available, it's more expensive, and they're more reliant on imports from the United States. So increasing the efficiency of the downstream would help everybody. So I'm very hopeful that Pemex will recognize that and move quickly to try and address those issues.
Well, David, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your presentation, your exposition, and thank you for supporting our event.
Thank you very much, Gabriele.